how did you deal with not getting all the offers that you probably felt you deserved at that point in time?
It was definitely frustrating because I knew I was gonna find a home. I knew I was gonna find a home, but I
Mhm.
just felt like I definitely felt like I was just as good as dudes. I played against dudes, and I was busting them. And it was like it was games where I would win 11 from the field, and I'm thinking I'm about to get some scholarship, get some offers, but it didn't happen. But I knew somebody was gonna believe in me and give me a chance, and that's what happened.
What's going on today? I'm the host, SchuZ, and joining me today is two-time All-CUSA selection, one-time West Coast Conference All-Freshman Team selection, the eighth all-time leading scorer in UTEP history, as well as their sixth all-time leader in free throws, third all-time in plus minus, and fifth in win shares. The 45th ranked transfer according to ESPN's top 100 transfers, and he is the first commit in the Sean Miller era at Xavier, Souley Boum. Souley, appreciate you having come on today, man.
Nah, for sure, bro. I appreciate you for having me, bro.
Absolutely. Well, the biggest thing is that you were one of the top transfers in the country this year. You found your home. You know where you're spending your final year of college basketball at. To have that weight off your shoulders now, to know where you're going to be playing next year, how does that feel right now?
I mean, it felt good, man. The process it was a blessing. It was a long, it took some time, but I mean, all in all, I feel like I found the right spot. I'm just happy to get it done with. I just been working. I'm just ready to get to work even more.
You've got about a month or so, maybe 2 months, a little month and a half, whatever, to get out there on campus. But what do you kind of want to improve on, or how do you plan to get yourself ready at least for Big East play now and getting ready to go out there and get ready to play at Xavier?
I'm just working on my overall game. Sharpening my tools every day. My ball handling, my finishing, just my shooting and stuff, and just be ready to play with the ball in my hands and make plays. So that's what I've been working on. Just getting better each and every day. I've been working, so I've been getting ready.
Now we're going to get a lot into Xavier and this team and what you're going to be bringing to this team and later on, but I do want fans to get to know your journey and how you've become the player that you are today, the top all-time 10 scorer in UTEP history, the elite lethal scorer that you are in college basketball now. And this all started
Mhm.
back out there in Oakland, California. That's where you're born. That's where you grew up. What was it like growing up out there?
I mean, it was a journey, man. I mean, it's a lot of dudes from Oakland that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't even make it to where I'm at today. And it's not the fact that I was better than them or them. I just stayed at it. I kept working, and this thing is a marathon, and you just go as far as you put your work in. So, man, it's a lot of good players from Oakland. It's not easy growing up in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people from Oakland they're really successful. You'll see a lot of people in sports that's like really successful. So Oakland they make you. I mean we just cut like that. We just different.
How did growing up in that environment help make you into the player and the person that you are today?
I mean, it's everything. It's the reason why I play. It's the reason why I play how I play.
Mm-hmm.
I play hard. I get after it. I'm trying to go at you. So, I mean, that's just how our environment is. That's how you got to be. You know what I'm saying? It's not no soft city. So a city make you man. It make you man. You make it out this city. You can do anything. You can do anything. You make it out of Oakland. You can do anything.
At the same time, I know that it's obviously when you're growing up in that environment, from the outside looking in, it might be easy to say, okay, going towards the basketball path, that's going to be more successful. It's going to keep you down the right path. But growing up in the environment, obviously, I can imagine that not everyone that you were growing up with went down the right path. Not all of them went down the right direction that they could have obviously been put in. How were you able to stay locked in your entire life and say, there might be these other distractions around me. There might be other things and paths I could possibly go down, but I'm going to stay to basketball. I want to stick to this, and this is going to be my way out. This is the way I want to pursue my way to get out of here.
I mean, I just had a lot of mentors. I had my family, my mom, my friends, and coaches. They all know that I really love the game, and I really just wanted to be a be an NBA player, be a hooper, man. I just been playing this game for forever. I had people around me that pushed me. It was just the support I had. Without them, it's a lot of people that's really good. They got the skills, they got the talent, but they don't really got people in that corner to really help them. guide them and tell them right from wrong and have people around them, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot into it, man. It's a blessing for real because everybody don't got that. So I was just blessed to have that, and man, you need everybody need that for sure.
How critical is it to at least have one person, but obviously the more the better, but to at least have somebody that's willing to invest in your life and kind of get you down the right path, show you the way that you can take the right way, rather that be a coach or a dad or a mom, whatever it is. Like, how critical is that for someone, especially growing up in the environment that you grew up in?
I mean, it's critical. I mean, you don't nobody makes it anywhere alone. So it's like you need that support and you need that guidance. You need those teachers, you need those lessons, you need those stories, you need those experiences, you need everything. You need all of those. I mean, so I'm just blessed to have all those people in my life for real.
What would you say is the biggest lesson that your mom and your dad taught you? Like, what would you say is the biggest thing that either rather be on the court, off the court? Like, what's the biggest thing that your mom taught you? What's the biggest thing your dad taught you?
Just be a good person. I mean, just be good.
Mm-hmm.
Just have good character and stuff. So you had that. I mean, good things that come to you. You know what I'm saying? Just be about the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I try to go about everything. Just try to do everything the correct way, the right way.
When you talk about basketball, was that the love that you had from the beginning? Was that the one only sport you pursued growing up, or how did the ball first get put in your hands?
I mean, I played other sports when I was growing up. I played like tennis. I played football, but I played football 1 year. I played tennis when I was like a little kid, but
Mm-hmm.
I was really a hooper. My mom took me to the park with Mosswood. I was like 5 years old, and I was just hooping ever since then. Like she took me to the park, and it was a wrap from there. Bro. It was a wrap from there. I've been playing ever since then.
The thing about growing up in California is that obviously it's one of not the best state for basketball, but it's so big that when you obviously live there, I know that a lot of guys in California don't necessarily look at it as the whole state. And in a way, is obviously break it down to NorCal and SoCal, and then obviously a little even more in a sense, you break it down to Oakland, you bring it down to LA, etc. So when you break it down to that aspect, what is different about Oakland basketball? When you talk about the brand of basketball, the toughness, the mindset, the type of player that you guys create out there, what is different? What makes an Oakland basketball player?
I mean, a Oakland basketball player they make them tough and make them. You gotta all Oakland basketball players. They tough, they confident, they play hard, they play with swag. They not scared of the moment. They just aggressive. They just dogs for real. So I mean, that's what an Oakland player like. I mean, that's what the city make you. So that's how all the players play. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta really be there to understand. People don't understand how important it is, like what cities you come from, how it can affect your play and how you are as a character, as a person. So I mean that has an influence for sure. But Oakland dudes, they got something different in them, for sure.
Would you say there's a difference between Oakland basketball and LA basketball and kind of different areas across California? Or would you say it's more so the entire state of California, maybe even SoCal or NorCal? Or is it just Oakland is completely different than any other area in California basketball?
And I mean, it was a stereotype before. I'd heard like people in Cali, like Cali Hooper soft or something like that. But that's not really true. Like that's not really true. But everybody got their own swag and how they play. But I feel like Cali smooth, skill, a lot of skill. We got some athletes too. Our athletes underrated, but we got a lot of skilled dudes. Just really talented. But everywhere, every state got talent though.
The thing about California, though, and you kind of experienced this to a certain extent, was there is so much talent from top to bottom, and there's only so much media could possibly cover each kid. So you have out of each year, you have the top 100. There's probably going to be 5 to 15 kids in that group. You're going to have when you look at 24/7, they have the top 400, 500, whatever they make. You're going to have 50, 60, 70 kids in that group. How are you able to build a brand for yourself? How did you, and obviously we'll kind of go into it later on, like you didn't have all the offers and the rankings coming out, but how are you able to still make yourself into a Division I player while there was so much talent out there in California?
I mean, I was just really just working. Like I learned how to work and I built the work ethic when I was young. I learned how to work in middle school and high school and I just carried that on. Like even though I started off I wasn't like highly touted or wasn't like ranked at all or just like thought of as a big time player, I knew how to work and that's what really just got me here and that's how you get better. Just work. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not working, you're not getting better. So I just kept it at that.
When you look at the all-time Oakland players, who would you say is your favorite player? Is there one player from Oakland that you'd say stands out the most, that's the guy that you either look up to, model game after maybe even, or just something kind of a lot of respect for that you'd say is that person for you?
I mean, obviously, I'll say right now, like Dame, because
Mm-hmm.
he the most modern one, the latest one. But it was all those dudes, man, that paved the way. Not just Dame, it was GP, Jason Kidd. I mean,
Yep.
we had a lot of good players. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good guards. But Dame, the really the hottest and latest one. But it's people from the city that's good, man. That's paved the way and just show what Oakland is about.
When you started realizing that this was the sport you want to pursue, and it wasn't just something that was fun anymore, it became that sport that you want to ride out as long as you could, rather just be through high school, rather be through college, a pro career. When did you decide to buy in on basketball and say, this is what I'm going all in on?
I mean, I've been all in like since middle school for real. I'm telling you,
Mhm.
I love the game. Like I was always a real hooper. I love watching it. I used to watch college games, high school games, NBA games. I was watching I remember all those games when I was a little kid and just playing. I've been a hoop junkie for real. So I've been wanting to do it.
Well, let's hop into your high school career then. And before we officially get into the games and everything you achieved in your high school career, if someone would have came and told you heading into your freshman season that in 4 years' time, you weren't necessarily going to be a top ranked player, but you still were going to be someone that was notable. You got ranked in the 24/7 top 400. I think it was somewhere in the 400 or something like that. You were a 3-star recruit. You had offers on the table. You could go to school in a really solid conference at San Francisco. Would that have been something that would have shocked you? Was that something that you expected for yourself? Did you underachieve maybe even, or what would your reaction have been if someone told you that heading into your freshman year of high school?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It was just I just knew like I wasn't expecting a lot of people to know who I was. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in high school, I knew I was a D1 player. I knew I was good enough, and I knew I was going to be good enough. I knew I was going to go to college and be scoring and doing the same things I was doing. It's just I knew other people didn't think of that or how I was looking, and I was more of a slim dude and stuff and all that. But I knew I had the skills. I knew I had it in me. I always knew I had it in me.
You choose to attend one high school for all 4 years. You create a great legacy out there at Oakland Tech High. Why was that the school you wanted to go start your high school career at and spend all 4 years at?
Um. Oh, I mean, to be honest, I felt like that was the best public school in Oakland, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where I wanted to go. That's where me and my friends all decided we wanted to go there. I feel like that was just the best fit for me. I lived across the street from the Climates. I lived on 24th and Chestnut, right across the street from Mac. But I didn't go there. I didn't even want to go there because that was right in my hood, in my neighborhood. And I didn't just want to just go across the street and see the same thing every day. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get out, and I just felt like Tech was better, and I had fun. I don't got no regrets on that at all, for sure.
That freshman season, and you become a 4-year player in varsity, you spend all 4 years there, and you're one of the key pieces every single year. And obviously, you get better and better each season. But that freshman year, did you expect to be that productive as a freshman? Did you think you'd be able to go in there and have as large of a role as you did as a freshman on varsity?
Yeah, my role as my freshman year, man, that was some time ago. My role my freshman year, it grew over time. Like it didn't start off like I didn't first start off starting again and stuff.
Mhm.
One of our best players got injured, and I was just had to jump in the fold. Like first couple games, I didn't play as much, and then I started getting comfortable when I started playing and I started starting. So I mean, I knew I was gonna be an impact on varsity team when I got my chance. So I knew I had a chance. I just had to stick with it.
We got to be honest. You have a lot of great pieces about your game. Obviously, you become a better and better facilitator. You can a great defender now. You become as well. But what you're known for, your best trait is your ability to get a bucket. You can score at will. You've been that since a long time. When you look at statistical wise, obviously throughout college and high school too. Was that something that you naturally were born with? Did that also happen at one point in life and you clicked for you, or when did you realize that you were pretty much just a bucket?
I mean, my favorite player, Kobe Bryant. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, and that's what I always wanted to be like. But unfortunately, I will never be like Kobe. And I never got his height, never had his steals, all that. But that was my favorite player. I just liked his mentality, like to get buckets. So it's like that's how I wanted to play my game. Like the game is about scoring. You put the ball in the hoop, you get points for your team. That's how you win the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt like that's how my game was always in middle school, high school, all that. Like to shoot, like to score, be an aggressive player, and then just yeah. So I've been doing the same thing since been playing the same way since I was a youngin.
I would say that, and they're still obviously are great scorers throughout the country too, but I think a lot of the branding of basketball is at least the guys that have the goal of playing the NBA, a lot of them have the focus point of becoming great scorers. Like there's a lot of great scorers that come from the state of California. When you look back at all the players you went up against that are from California through the AAU circuits or playing in high school, who would you say was the best scorer that you went up against?
Best score,
Mm-hmm.
man, in high school. I don't even remember. That's a tough question. It would probably be somebody. It would probably be somebody nobody even heard of. A dude from Oakland. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. We got some hoopers, man, that wasn't even able to take it that far.
Why would you
I'm telling
say that is though? I mean, when you talk about that, and that is something that does happen in other
you. Yeah.
states too, but what do you think it is? Like how, for example, for starters for you, how are you able to become someone that got a chance in the college level now worked your way up? And for a lot of those guys, like what was it about them? Why weren't they not able to make that jump and get to the collegiate level and build themselves into a career like someone similar like what you've been able to have?
They probably didn't have that. Like I said, they didn't have that support. They didn't have that guidance. They didn't have that focus. They didn't maintain that work ethic. I mean, it could be a lot of ways. So I mean, you got to stick to the script and you got to keep going. So and you got to have support around you and a drive to do it. So I mean, that's something that you got to have for sure.
You hop into your sophomore year of high school then, and you have a much larger jump now. You average about 17 points a game. You guys go over 500 now, 15 and 11. What was that sophomore year like for yourself?
I took a jump. I took a jump for sure. After that year, I took a jump. It started to become my team. I actually won co MVP that year too. So that's when I started to take it when I took a jump, and it was starting to become easier.
We're going to get into recruiting on the end of your high school career, but when did the offer start coming into you? When did you start getting the interest? Was that following your going to junior season? Was that after that? Or when did the recruiting start getting going for yourself?
That was late. That was late. That was
Mm-hmm.
junior year. I ain't had no offers for real. I ain't start getting offers till my junior year circuit, my last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I only had like a couple. So the recruitment was nothing crazy. I really had really one or two schools for real.
Well, I do want to sidetrack a little bit now and go into your AAU career. And you mentioned a player that you look up to now, that obviously the number one player from Oakland right now, well, one of the best point guards in the NBA today, Damian Lillard, and you were able to play for his AAU team. So take us to that a little bit. What was it like going out there and playing for someone that you've looked up to, someone that you can kind of relate to in terms of he's gone through every kind of place that you've gone through now? What was it like playing for that team?
I mean, it was amazing. We was actually called the Oakland Rebels, and that was the team that he played for. And the guy that runs it is Coach Raymond Young, and he's the same guy that coached me, the same guy that coached him, and he just been doing this for like around 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was just, I've been talking to him every day. I just actually posted a picture of him today too. I mean, that's my guy. Without him, I wouldn't have got here. That's one of the supporters I got around me, and he just helps a lot of kids from the city of Oakland. And it's just, Dame came back and sponsored that team and stuff because that's the team that he played for, and it was just good. Dame came to the games and stuff, gave us advice, and that was cool.
That is something that is unique. And while I'm honestly a huge person, I love seeing the guys that come back and help sponsor the AU teams, especially like there's obviously a lot of teams now that are sponsored by players, but there's a few guys that not only sponsor them, they have a role in the team now. Obviously, Dame comes back and he's in the sidelines. He goes to watch a lot of the games whenever he can. Guys like Bradley Beal does the
Yeah.
same thing. Getting to not only just be sponsored by Dame Lillard and have the shoes and all that type of stuff, but to actually get advice from him, get to be around him, learn from him. How big was that for you?
No, that was good. It was definitely an inspiration because it's a guy, it's a guy like me from Oakland, want to play in the league, trying to get to the league, and he's lived it. He's done it. He's breathed it. He's done it at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's a top 75 player. So I mean, listening to him and learning from him is just that was just all good for me and kids around that played on the team well.
What was the biggest lesson that you learned from Dame Lillard?
Uh, I mean, it's a lot. I don't remember one specifically. He told me a few. It's not like I talk to him every day or something
Yeah.
or like that. But I mean, he didn't tell me a few things, and I just try to listen and take what he's saying.
when you're going through that experience and you got to go play on the AAU circuit and really build your name up, and obviously didn't really get recruiting wise till later on in your career, but just kind of take us to the AAU career, like the memories you had. What would you say like some of your favorite times or your favorite memories that you created throughout your AAU career?
Man, I had a lot of fun time. It was just the road trips that me and my team was making, the memories, the fun times we had. Cause like those times you would never forget. I mean, going on
Mhm.
road trips, being with your brothers, and just learning how to be a team and be a family. That's the fun part of stuff. I mean, the games is fun. It's just having building those relationships, those last forever, man. So that was all good.
What would you say you'd prefer? Did you like the high school games with your high school more, or did you like AAU more?
That's a good question. Mm. But hey, you more competition, but
Yeah.
high school is lit. So you playing in your cities and stuff. So oh, that's a tough. I'm gonna have to just I'm gonna just say high school because you playing in your hometown. Well,
Mhm.
that's what it was for me. Yeah, but AU more competition is better. It's fun though.
Well, let's hop back into your high school career then out there at Oakland Tech, and you head into your junior season then, and you have a huge jump. You end up averaging 20 points a game, 5 rebounds, almost 6 rebounds actually, 3 assists per game, and you guys have your best season of your high school career at that point in time, 28-4 record. What was that junior year like for yourself, and did you expect not just for yourself but as a team to have that big of a jump?
Nah, that was the best. I just was with my coach yesterday. He said that was the best team that he ever coached. That team was nice. That was our best team. Well, it was unfortunate that we didn't go far and go to state, but that team was nice. I knew we was gonna be good. Like we had everything.
When you talk about yourself, then obviously statistically, you look at that. You had a huge jump. You looked at that point in time like you were a top player. Was that when it started clicking for yourself and you realized that you would become a Division I player? You knew that whenever you step on a court, you
Yeah,
are capable of playing, or did that happen before that? Or when did you start settling into that type of role?
yeah. I told you. I've been told you. Like as soon as I hit high school, middle school, I knew I was D1. Like I
Mm-hmm.
knew I was D1. I just already knew. Like I was doing the same thing. I was just trying to go out there, show everybody that, trying to prove it to them, like so they know, so they see. But I've been knew that. I've been knew it.
So what led to that jump for yourself then? What took you from a guy that was obviously still a pretty solid player, 16 points a game, to one of the top scorers in the state, becoming a guy that's recognized in California as one of the top scorers? What took you into that role then your junior year?
It was just getting better. I'm saying I was just been in the lab, just getting better. Each and every summer, I was getting better. Trying to, I never came back the same player. Each year in college, each year in high school, middle school, I got better each and every year because I was just putting time in, putting my work in, getting my reps up and everything. Just coming back a better player.
Well, then let's go into your final year of high school, and that's another great year for yourself. You end up averaging a little bit less. I think it's like zero point 0.3 points per game less, but your rebounds go up, your assists go up, your steals go up that season. You
Yeah,
become a much better all-around player that season. You guys lose only one more game that year than you did prior. You guys go 26-5 that year. What was your final
yeah.
year of high school basketball like?
I got hurt in those games too. I missed like three of those games. That's why we lost those games too. When I was hurt, I broke my ankle. But that year I wanted to really improve my playmaking year. I was going into that year, I was trying to like show people I can make plays. Because people still say that to this day, like, oh, he just score. Like I feel like that's a real underrated part about game. Like
Mhm.
so that's why I feel like my assists went up that year and stuff. So I was just showing, I wanted to show that I can make plays for my teammates and I could still get buckets. Like I can do both. Like that's how the game of basketball is played.
So you said a little bit ago that that junior year team was the best team that you guys had. Had you not got hurt your senior year, then would that have been the best team you think?
Nah, my junior team, our seniors, it was just the combination of our juniors and our seniors. Like we
Mm.
was lethal, like we was just nice together. And then our senior year, my senior year, the seniors before they left and they was gone, and so we were the older cats, and then the cats younger than us wasn't as good as we were. So that's why
Mhm.
that's why I say that.
That year, though, you do pull in a lot more awards. You obviously have already won Oakland Athlete Player of the Year for the past 2 years. That's your third year in a row then. But then you add on Max Prep's All North Cal team. You get selected to the Bay Area team. You get all these different awards and accolades then. How did it feel for yourself to realize that you could close out your career now, getting recognition, getting more notoriety behind your name?
I mean, to be honest, it still didn't even feel like it. To be honest, I wouldn't even at that time. I still people still wasn't really talking about me as one of the top players in the Bay for real. So
Hmm.
it was really nothing. Like so, it was really nothing.
So you look back at your high school career, what would you say was your favorite memory that you created?
Winning the OEL championship, that was the
Hmm.
funnest one because we ain't won one in a while. We lost one my junior year. We should have won it, but we got it the senior year. That was the funnest one. So that was good.
And we also go back. I know I asked you a little earlier about the best score you went up against in California, but you go throughout there and you got experience countless guys on varsity throughout your career there. Who would you say was your favorite matchup? If you could go pick one player that you love going up against throughout high school, who was that player for yourself?
Um, High school. Who was that player? Mm, I don't know. I don't really got one. I don't really got one on that one.
Let's go a little bit into something I do want to touch up on. We talked about it earlier too, but that is the ranking aspect for yourself. And you obviously don't
Mm,
necessarily have the story of being completely unranked, unknown coming out of high school, but still, you finished as a three-star recruit, number 433 on the 24/7 rankings that season. Did rankings ever get to you? I mean, I have to imagine you obviously saw them, you kind of heard about them, but how did you take in the ranking aspect during high school?
Man, I definitely seen it, and I definitely was like, man, I wanted to be ranked and all, but I just knew I wasn't. I just didn't get that notoriety. I felt like I was good enough to be on that like top 100 list or whatever, but I definitely peeped it and stuff. But I just used it as motivation, man. So I just kept working. I'm like, I'm just keep working. I'm gonna show that I'm as good as those dudes when I get to college. When I get to those times. That's all. That's what I did.
You look back at yourself then and you kind of evaluate when you were at that position. Do you feel that you should have been ranked in the top 100 or top 150 or something like that? Or do you think that just the past 3, 4 years or whatever it's been now in college that you've really grown into the player that you are and now you become that player that you just kind of took a little bit longer to develop into the person you are today?
Yeah, nah, I most definitely feel like I should have been in the top 100 for sure, but but that wasn't the case. But I mean, I just like I said, man, I just keep getting better each and every year. I work on my game and I come back better. So I was good. I just kept sharpening my tools and trying to grow my game each and every year.
So if you were to rank yourself and you look back, obviously maybe not exactly, but just say top 50, top 75, top 100, something like that. Where'd you put
Man,
yourself
I
in?
don't know all that. I ain't gonna say all that, man. I just felt I just wanted to be in there, man. That's it, man. I wasn't in there, so I should. That's all. I know my name should have been in there somewhere at least.
When you got to college then, how much of a motivation factor was it? Like obviously whenever you played someone that might have been ranked high or whatever, but how much of a motivation was that for yourself going forward then after your high school career and looking at the rankings?
It was definitely motivation. I wanted to come in my freshman year and show that I belong. I remember my first game against Long Beach State. I dropped 22 points, and everybody was acting surprised, and I wasn't surprised at all. I'm like, man, I knew I could do this. Like that's what I was trying to tell people and show people, but people was acting surprised, and that's what you're gonna do because you gonna the biggest believer you gotta be is yourself, and if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody will. So, man, that's it.
So let's also flip over to the other side then. That's the recruiting aspect. And last time I talked to you about that was you're at your midway point of high school career, heading into a junior year. No offers were present for you at that point in time. When did the first offer come to you? What was that experience like? How did you get it? When did that first offer come to you?
I think my first offer was UC Davis. I think it was after the first or second road trip we had in my junior year, and then they was a call, and then they like, we want to offer you, and that was my first scholarship. I was juiced. I was excited. I was like, man, this is my first one. I'm about to get 20 more, man. I was just excited, but that was remember my first one, my call, and then later on, I got San Francisco, and those are like my main two offers for real.
When you were looking at yourself and you just came off a season where you spent your final upperclassmen years only losing a combination of 9 games, and some of those games you weren't even a part of, obviously, you just became a guy that was winning all those accolades, were obviously being recognized as one of the top players in your area. Were you shocked by that, or how did you deal with not getting all the offers that you probably felt you deserved at that point in time?
It was definitely frustrating because I mean, I knew I was gonna find a home. I knew I was gonna find a home, but it was. I just felt like, I definitely felt like I was just as good as dudes. I played against dudes, and I was busting them. And it was games where I would win 11 for 11 from the field, and I'm thinking I'm about to get some scholarship, get some offers, but it didn't happen. But I knew somebody was gonna believe in me and give me a chance, and that's what happened.
When you look back, or even maybe talking to coaches that recruited you or coaches that you were a part of your life, why do you feel it was that case? Like, why do you feel like so many schools didn't want to pull the trigger and give you the offer in high school?
I mean, they just thought I was too small. They thought I was too
Mhm.
like skinny. You know what I'm saying? I ain't. They feel like I just ain't looked the part. Like I was a skinny dude. I was gonna hold up, and that was it. Everybody say the same thing, man. Like everybody say the same thing, but that's not the whole game. They get people. Coaches get tricked by that, man. Coaches get tricked by that, but
Well, let's go through that process then, because you said it basically came down to only two schools that were really legitimately in the race for yourself, and both at least allowed you to stay in California, stay home, and you chose the one that was literally right there in your backyard at San Francisco. How did Coach Kyle Smith win you over, and what was his pitch to basically say, okay, I want to commit to this school. This is where I want to start off my college career at.
it was actually UC Davis fell out the picture because it's like I didn't really want to go there. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go to UC Davis. So
Mm-hmm.
it ended up really becoming San Francisco and San Diego. Those are like my main real two offers. So in the original point, I was like thinking like leaning towards San Diego, and I took a visit to San Francisco, and I told the coach like I'm gonna go to San Diego next week, and then to visit them. And the coach there was mad at me. Coach Kyle was upset at me about that. Then I was like, I want to go see San Diego first, then I'm gonna let you know, man. And then he like, all right, whatever, man, whatever. Then so I got a call from San Diego, and they be like, we taking somebody, and then I was like, oh man. I wanted to see what that was talking about. And then so my man San Francisco been there from the jump. They believed in me the whole time. That was one of like my first offers, real offers for real. And that just was a sign by God to saying go to San Francisco. So I went there and that was it.
That is something that's unique about Coach Kyle Smith, because he is someone that throughout his career has found a way to identify players that a lot of coaches
Man,
didn't have the guts to say, okay, I want to offer you. And unfortunately, there's a case,
man,
a lot of coaches out there sit and say, I'm going to wait until this guy offers him. I don't want to be the first one. He's known
yeah,
for, and he's
yeah.
continued to be the first guy to offer countless underrated players.
Nah,
What
for
was it
sure.
like? What was it like just knowing that you had someone, at least in the very beginning, that really trusted in you and said, you're someone that I want to invest in. I want to be someone that I want to identify you. I want you
Yeah.
to be my program, even though the people don't necessarily want you yet.
Yeah, nah, that felt good. And he definitely got an eye for talent. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
like dudes that can score, that can shoot and have skills and that's what he do. So I mean, we had a bunch of guards, me, Frankie, Jamari, Charles,
Yep.
Jordan Martino. Like we had a lot of good players. If you look down at their careers, those are some really good guards. He had I mean, he was a good coach. I mean, he was a good coach. He knew what he was doing. I mean, yeah.
So let's go into your college career now. You start off, you're a freshman, you're getting on campus, and you kind of already answered this question a little bit before, but now that we're officially at the college chapter and you're that point of your career, you head in there as this freshman and you end up having a really great freshman season. But what did you expect that year? Did you think you'd be a guy that could go out there and have a large role, be someone that ended up starting 12 games that season, be an all conference freshman team selection? Is that what you expected, or what did you expect going into your freshman year there?
To be honest, I expected more. To be honest,
Hmm.
like I actually started off like really well, and I was like leading scorer of the team, and then some stuff happened, and then I didn't start playing as much, and then yeah, it kind of dipped off from there, and that's what I was kind of like upset about because I feel like I was coming in, I was gonna have an impact on the team, like I was gonna score, not knowing how much I was gonna score, but I was gonna be scoring and having a role on the team, and I had that throughout the year, but I feel like it could have been better. That's all.
So when you guys were getting ready for the season, and obviously once again you are a freshman coming in there, and this is a kind of a new look team. A lot of young players were on that recruiting class too. Did Coach Smith kind of come in and tell you, okay, we want you to be a vocal point of this team? Like, did he expect you to be as productive as you were that year? Or did you even shock him a little bit how good you were?
Nah, I think I definitely shocked him for sure. I think he know how to handle it a little bit, but I think he was definitely surprised. A lot of people were surprised too, but like I said, I wasn't surprised. So I expected more of myself, to be honest. I was not happy after my freshman year. I was not happy. Yeah. I was like, that's why I ended up leaving. That's why I ended up leaving. I was not happy. So, um, I was young. I probably could have stayed and did something different, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. But yeah, I to be honest, I expected more of myself for real. Most people say I'm crazy. They'll start to tell me I'm crazy, but I'm like, I knew I'm not tripping. I knew I wasn't crazy.
Obviously, you did move on, which we'll talk about in a second, but there is something that you just look on at that roster, and two of debatably the best bucket getters in the country last year were on that roster. Yourself obviously play a little bit more than Jamari, but he was obviously on that team, and we know how special he
Yeah,
is. He's going to be in the NBA. If he doesn't get drafted, he's going to be a great undrafted pickup. But you two were on that
yeah.
team, and obviously you guys didn't necessarily get to play together a lot, but look at the potential. Had you guys stayed together, that would have been a scary duo. But did you
Man, that
expect
would be
like, did you
crazy.
expect him to be as good as he was going forward in his career, or did he even shock you how good he became now the past few years?
Nah, he didn't shock me. He didn't. It's crazy that he did not shock me at all. Me, I was his roommate. We was roommates
Mm,
our freshman year together. So man, that's my boy. We had countless memories. I remember we was in the gym together. He was just a freshman. He was just young, you know what I'm saying? And I just talk to him and stuff. We would just all talk about it. It was just a little mindset stuff. But I knew he was good. I knew he was gonna be good. I knew he had the skills. And Coach Todd and Coach Coward are good coaches. They give their players freedom and confidence,
mm-hmm.
and that's they have good relationships with people, and that's what makes people even better, So I wasn't surprised at all.
I know this might be a tough question for yourself, but as I said, last year you guys were both debatably two of the best bucket getters in the country, obviously with a couple other guys on the list too. But out of you two, who's the best bucket getter between you two?
Oh, come on, man. You know I'm gonna say me, man. Come on. That's bro, but you know what I'm gonna have to say. He gonna say the same thing, man. He gonna say the same thing. But it's all love. That's my boy.
Now I know you guys had to play some one-on-one games though throughout that career, throughout that 1 year
Nah,
out
for
there.
sure.
So how those one-on-one
For
games
sure.
go?
Nah, they went good. We didn't play too much, but we
Mm.
was definitely going at it in practice and stuff. We definitely was going at it in practice for sure. Y'all should have seen them. Man,
So
young Sue and young JB.
now I'm not sure if you guys
Man,
got to play anytime recently, but let's say you two were to go right now and go play a game to one-on-one. Say we're going to 21 right now. What's the score of that game going to be, and who's winning it?
man, it's gonna be 21-16 me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's what I'm saying.
Now you just talk about the two makeup of you two. Like I said, it's that unique. It's a unique ability. Like there's obviously guys that can become great shooters and stuff, but there's a
Mhm.
certain attribute that just is kind of God gifted. It's that ability to go get a bucket, and it just happens for guys. You just have that character trait about you. So what is that about you guys? Like what is it about yourself? And even kind of seeing what JB could do. What was it about you, and what's that kind of makeup about you guys that allows you guys to be that takeover mode, that dominant go to bucket?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, it's really a mindset thing. Dudes, it's how dudes play, what they got in them, where they
Mm-hmm.
come from. You know what I'm saying? All those things that make a player. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes want that moment. Some dudes want to take those shots. Some dudes don't. Some dudes content with that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm one of those guys that want to go for the moment. I'm trying to go at you. I'm trying to be, a killer on the court. So that's it.
Whatever team does end up drafting Jamari and takes or either drafts him, picks him up undrafted, whatever ends up happening with him, I think he should obviously be drafted. But whatever ends up
Nah, for
happening
sure.
with him, what would a team be getting in him?
I mean, they'll be getting a good dude, a person that has great character,
Yeah.
somebody that's gonna work hard, and a talented player. I mean, a dude that can score, make plays for his teammates, a dude that can defend, that's athletic. I mean, they're getting a great player in him. So I mean, he's ready, and all he needs is opportunity, and he gonna handle the rest for sure.
Let's go to that freshman year a little bit in depth. Obviously, you said by the end of it, you weren't happy. You started off kind of happy, but I want to go through the duration of that season. So you start off, like you said, you have a great first debut game. You go through that season, still pretty solid year overall. But take me through the ups and downs of the year. Like, what was that first year in college like for yourself?
Um, I mean, it was good. I had a lot of memories. I mean, and stuff. We won some big games.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you're a freshman. I mean, every freshman doesn't always have a perfect season. I mean, every freshman is
Mhm.
gonna have ups and downs and stuff, and that's just what freshmen do. So,
Yep.
I mean, that was pretty much it.
Was there a wake up moment for you as a freshman? I know a lot of times when freshmen get out there, rather that be at practice and training camp or that be one of the first games of the season. Was there a freshman
Mhm.
wake up moment for yourself where you said, okay, this is different now. I got to change something about me. This is college basketball now. Did that occur for you that year?
Probably when I got blocked or some. That was probably it. But I mean, I knew I was at that level. It wasn't nothing overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing about that, though, is that you get that winning nature about yourself. And that's always something that was unique because San Francisco is a historically great winning program. And you were able to go out there 22-17 was you guys' record as a freshman. What was it like just being a part of a team that was able to be pretty successful, even though there were so many young players on that team?
I mean, it was good. I mean, we went to the CBI finals that year, played against North Texas. I
Yep.
mean, and I think we had a good team. We was really young, but we got some great experiences and stuff, and it was good.
All right. So, following that season, then you decide to enter the old version of the transfer portal, which is where you don't obviously get to go and play right away. You have to sit down and take your redshirt season, all that. So, you decided to make that move. And that at that time obviously was a lot more difficult decision to make because it was giving up a year of your career. So, when you decide to enter the portal then and you go through that first recruiting process, what went into that decision? Like, why did you feel like now was the time to make a move and go find a new home?
Because I wanted to go somewhere. I wanted to do something different. I just felt like I wanted to do something different, and it led me to UTEP. I mean, it led me to UTEP, and I went on to do some great things and meet some good people. So that's how that went.
When you were in that portal, was there other schools that were interested in you? And if so, like who was someone else that you were interested in at least?
To be honest, it wasn't even that many. It wasn't even that many schools. To be honest,
Hmm.
I didn't really have a whole lot of options. To be honest, I can't really remember all of them. I think UC Santa Barbara was interested a little bit, but that school was kind of tough. I didn't think I wanted to go there, and it was UTEP was really my main one for real.
Was that difficult for you in the way that you're not moving away from home? Because at that point, you've lived up your entire life in that area. You really haven't traveled. Not only have you not really left California, but you haven't really left the Bay Area much. So was that difficult for you to move out to a whole new area now?
But it wasn't that hard. I was just really taking a leap of faith and just being willing to give sacrifice and give something up. So I was looking forward to it. Once I heard El Paso, I'm like, "Where's El Paso? I've never been there." Like, like this place is gonna be horrible. I'm like, but when I got there, it wasn't like that at all, man. It was a great place. It was smooth. It's not even that far. It's really like Arizona, to be honest. It's only 3 hour flight. You just gotta connect though. That's the only thing. But
Mhm.
it wasn't bad at all, man.
And you did something that you just did again, pretty much, and that is you decided to be one of the first commits in a coach's program history when he became a head coach there. And you choose Coach Terry, and you go out there and you buy into him and you say, okay, I want to play for you now. How did he win you over? What was it about him that you decided to buy in on and say, I want to play for you?
Coach Terry was a great recruiter. He was doing something new with the team, and he was a new coach. He was bringing in a lot of talented players, and I was like, man, it's like a good deal. So I
Mhm.
want to be a part of it, and it was good. I mean, we had Bryson, Tark, Deion Stroud, FEODG, Titus Verhoeven, Eric Villa. We have a lot of talented players there, man. Jordan Lathan. We just had a lot of players. It was small. It was a lot. It was good.
And as I said, you have to go through the redshirt season, which is obviously not something that has to be done anymore. So I didn't want to touch up on that a little bit though, because times have changed now. You don't have to do that any longer. But when you had to go through that season and you obviously had to take the redshirt season, what was your thoughts on that? And I know a lot of guys go back and they look at that and say that that redshirt season was big for guys to get used to a campus, to learn the play system, all that type of stuff. How big was that redshirt season for you?
Man, that redshirt season was tough. It was times was different back then, but I had to sacrifice that, and I was really working on my game, trying to get better and stuff. Getting at those guys in practice. Our scout team was nice, but I was really just trying to get better that year.
That had to be something that obviously you improve on. Like I said, a lot of guys look at that and say they probably would prefer playing, but when they look back at it, the jump that they made in their careers that helped them then going forward was pretty magnitude, was pretty huge. Would you have the same case for yourself? Would you say that that year off of just really keying on your focusing on your game was big time for your career going forward?
Uh, I don't really think about it that much, but it definitely gave me some benefits. without that, I wouldn't have been able to go to Xavier. So that's
Mhm.
why I said I feel like everything happens for a reason. But coming off that year was kind of tough because in the beginning of the year I was struggling because coming off a year and not playing a full game, it can be hard because you kind of lose your game flow and stuff like that. You haven't played in a real game for a whole year,
Yeah.
so it's different than practice. So I had to get a couple games under my belt and get more comfortable again. And yeah,
When you look at the rule, and obviously, even if you went transferred out as a grad transfer back now, even if it was before this new rule came into play, you probably still would have been able to play with the grad rule. But when you talk about underclassmen being able to transfer, do you think it's still a good thing? Like, would you say that that is a good thing that guys that if you're a freshman or sophomore leaving, or would you say that getting the extra year to develop is big for a lot of players in their careers?
uh, yeah, I think it's big. I mean, I think if guys want to take advantage of it, I think it's a great opportunity for them. And if guys want to go out and do the NBA to the NBA or overseas or go pro or whatever, I feel like that's great for them too. I mean, it's all everybody's plan and situation is different, so it's whatever they choose. So
Well, let's go through that year a little bit because as a team, obviously you weren't playing that year, but the season for UTEP was not very good. It was 8-21. Granted, a lot of guys were
yeah,
that were going to be key players the next year was all on the retro squad. Obviously, you and Bryson, who both were guys that were led that team. But when you look at that group and you guys were just practicing all year long, and you got to be around Bryson, you kind of develop that duo with him a little bit. What was that year like? Just building the bond with some of the guys that you would then be playing with the next season.
man, that was like my best friend at the school. One of my best friends for sure. Me and him talk every day. That's my boy, man. But just getting to know him, being friends with him, and seeing how he work and stuff, it was great. I mean, we built the bond, we built the relationship, and we just had a lot of fun memories.
When you talk about YouTube, would you say that you guys clicked right away? Did it take time to build that relationship and that bond on the court, or when would you say you two really clicked and formed that dynamic duo?
I mean, we been click. He from Fresno, and I'm from Oakland, so Fresno not that far from Oakland. It's kind of in the area, so we kind of got similarities and stuff that we like, and music we like to listen to and stuff. So we been clicked off.
Did you guys ever know each other before you guys became teammates, or was that something that you
Nah,
met each other as the
nah.
first time you ever knew each other?
Yeah. That's the first time we met each other and stuff. We didn't know nothing about each other, so it was like once we got to know each other, it was just we was hella cool. It was good.
Well, let's get off of that retro season then. You get to go back on the court now and you get a chance to really take over. This is now your chance to play. It's your system and you play a pretty solid role that first year. But just take us through that. When you're heading into it, how excited were you just for starters to be able to get on that court and start playing basketball games again?
Man, I was juiced. I was ready. I was happy to be back, and it was just. And our team was nice. We had a lot of talented players. I was just happy to be back out there.
And that season, you guys go 17 and 15. And one of the things that you said was that obviously you guys had Bryson, you had yourself, you guys had Anthony Tark, who also was a great player as well. A lot of the guys on that list too. What was it like that season? And ultimately going 17 and 15, how did you deal with the ups and downs of that season? Just what was that sophomore year like for yourself?
Yeah, we started off really hot. We had a lot of talented players, and we kind of had a lot of players, and I feel like it just didn't mesh well. We didn't gel well together. It just didn't come together all the way as a group. But I definitely feel that we had the pieces. We just never got it to work. We
Mhm.
started off really hot. We beat Texas Tech in the exhibition game, won 9 games straight. So it was really good. We just had a lot of stuff that happened that year, and it was just tough a little bit.
You then move on to your next season out there and you finally have a year underneath your belt. And then you get to add on top of obviously a lot of the core group. Then you add in Jamal, Keontae, obviously, who's a big piece, as well as Bryson yourself, too. As you guys were preparing for this season, and obviously it was a team that was loaded, top to bottom. You guys had a lot of talent on that roster. What
Yeah,
were the expectations
that
heading
team.
into that season?
I mean, we know we like this been a story slept on. Whatever team I'm on, me even we always slept on. So we still didn't get shown respect, but we had the talent. We had good players, but it just didn't work.
Now, obviously, going back a little bit, then that season was obviously the biggest headline was COVID all year long. And you look back at the summer, though, preparing for that season, you guys had to go through a pandemic and you guys weren't able to obviously practice the same as usual. A lot of restrictions were obviously brought upon every single team in college basketball. How for yourself did you go through the pandemic? How did you get through going through the ups and downs of the pandemic, rather being at your home or whatever it was? How did you go through the off season when the pandemic was at its strongest?
The off season, I mean, I was still getting my work in, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it wasn't really too bad for me. I mean, even when we got to school, it was just classes online stuff. And like I kind of like that better, to be honest. I was just at the crib and then going to the gym, and that was it. So I enjoyed that.
So during that summer, then heading into what was your retro junior season, then did you get to stay on campus for most of the time, or did you go back to California during the pandemic?
I kind of stayed at my apartment. I was just there doing my classes online. And I was just there. I was
Mhm.
shut down in my apartment. So that's where I was posted at during that time.
Another big thing, as you said, obviously that team. You look at all the names of those guys. Bryson obviously had an incredible season out there at Texas Tech. Yourself obviously played and has become the player that you are. Keontae, the list goes on. Jamal. When you talk about all you guys, though, and that team obviously goes right at 500, 12 and 12. The pandemic obviously gets a large excuse for that too, though. But had the pandemic not been as big, and you guys could have had a normal offseason to get used to each other, get playing with each other, do you think that season would have been different, or what do you think ultimately happened? Like, why were you guys not able to really take the jump that on paper you guys potentially could have?
Um, that's a great question. Um, I just felt like it just didn't come all the way right together with the players and the coaching staff. How everybody just felt.
Mm.
We had the talent, but it just didn't go right.
I think at least when you talk about those guys that are on teams that are talented, even if they don't pan out on the record books and all that type of stuff, the practices were still great. You get to go up against these guys. Obviously, probably didn't
Man,
match up too much on Bryson, but like you get to go up against Jamal and all those guys.
yeah,
What were the
yeah.
practices like with you guys?
Nah, practice was talented. Our open gyms was even more lit, like especially the year before.
Mm.
We had a lot of dudes in practice, and there was a lot of talented players. So yeah,
When you talk about that team, I said one guy, Anthony, obviously panned out, went out to Coppin State, then had an incredible run there, and has now been doing great at the G League level too. What was it like being around him? And were there other guys that you say didn't get as much of an opportunity that you thought maybe could have had a bigger role during your time out there?
I mean, nah, Tark, that's one of my other best friends too. Me and him
Mm.
being clicked off too. That's my boy. We talk to this day all the time, and he doing good things. He killed that Coppin State. I mean, it just was. That's what I'm saying. We had a lot of good players. It didn't even come together how it was supposed to. And you seen what he was doing at Coppin State, killing and stuff. So yeah, but we had some other players. Eric Villa was a good player. Just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't fully able to get comfortable with himself and just everything with the team, with the coaching stuff. Just we had a lot of good pieces, man. We had a lot of good pieces.
Well, take us to that retro junior season then, because you obviously are in the middle of a pandemic. You guys have to go through having to wear the mask. You guys have to go through all the different stuff that had occurred during that season. What was that year like? Just going through the season during the middle of a pandemic. How did you guys get through then? What was that year like?
That year we had a couple ups and downs. We didn't really have that many shutdowns. I think we only had one or two, but we handled that situation very well. COVID in El Paso wasn't as bad,
Mhm.
so uh, yeah, we just had to take the test and stuff. And yeah, it was nobody at the games. It was a different year. That was different. That was different. A lot of people we all had to get used to it and stuff, but it was just different times.
The thing about that year, though, is that you had your best collegiate season statistically. Now, obviously, I know you like to win games, so obviously you'd rather win more than you guys did that year. But still, to go out there and average 18.8 points a game, be an all-conference selection, what was it like on having your breakout season then at the college level?
I mean, again, man, coming to that year, I got my year back in me. I was able to play again, and that
Mhm.
second half of that sophomore season, I started playing more like myself because the beginning of that year, I was kind of rusty. I haven't played games and stuff. I had to get games under my belt, and I was just coming in ready. Like I'm coming in, I'm about to take this leap. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be one of the leaders on this team, best players, and I did that. And I just again went to the lab and got better and came back and was handling business.
The year comes to conclusion then, and once again, more change occurs for yourself now. And Coach Terry also decides to go out to Texas, take a job out there, and move on, which obviously leaves a new coaching opening for your team then. Walk us through your mindset. Like, what was going through your mind? Because you just had a great season. I'm sure you could have entered the portal last summer and gone somewhere else too. And you obviously decided to come back to Coach Golding. And just overall, though, just take us through this time. For starters, though, with Coach Terry moving on, were you shocked by that? Was that something that you expected to have happen? Or how did you react to that?
Nah, I was definitely shocked. It was definitely surprised. Nobody saw it coming. But when it happened, Coach Terry did what he thought was best for him, and he's doing over there. He's doing good things over there, and I just wanted to see, and I wanted to kind of wait it out and see who the next coach was going to be. A lot of people was telling me like I should transfer and stuff, like I should just go and stuff. But I was like, I was in the back of my head like, man, I kind of want to stay. Like I feel in my heart like I want to stay and do one more and try to give it a real chance. You know what I'm saying? With a fresh start. Coach Golden got the job, and then I just wanted to give it a chance. He seemed like a cool guy. He won in the NCAA tournament, so he knew what he was doing. And ultimately, I'm glad I stayed, man. I'm glad I stayed. This was the best year.
Hmm. It kind of was the question I was going to ask you. So looking back now at the decision to come back, would you say that was what you would have done again? Like if you were to go back, was that still the decision you would have made?
Yeah, that's still a decision I would have made, man. That was the perfect decision. We did a lot of great things. We won 20 games, and we could have went even further. No, we were picked 10th in the league. We finished top 4 in the hardest division. Um, we beat La Tech. We beat North Texas. We did a lot of things nobody thought we could do, and it was Coach Golden's first year. And I mean, man, I just imagine if we got a couple more pieces that we was trying to get, I feel like we really, literally could have won the league for.
I want to go into is about Coach Golding because you obviously see a lot of the media and a lot of the people that, or maybe per se older, don't necessarily understand the new transfer era. And obviously, you look at it on paper, Coach Golding went through the season, and now obviously half the team's gone, or more than half the team left and went to the portal. Obviously, the reasoning behind that is a lot of guys were grad transfers. A lot of guys wanted to go play at a higher state. I don't think it had much to do with Coach Golding per se. So take us to that a little bit. Like, did it have anything to do with Coach Golding that you want to move on, or was it just that you wanted to find an opportunity and you and Coach Golding are still cool?
It was just I felt like it was just time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been at UTEP for like I was at UTEP for 4 years. I graduated last semester, and it was just then I just felt like it was time for me to go on and do something different. It was nothing against Coach Golden or the city or Paso or the school. It's just I felt like I paid my dues, and the program is in a much better place than when I got there, and that's all you can do, man. So yeah,
And that's why I think UTEP fans should be excited for Coach Golding because I think he is the right coach. I think he's going to get them winning and build around this
yeah.
program now. So why should fans be excited now? You look forward to this upcoming season for them and going forward. Why should fans be excited for what he's going to be able to build out there?
I mean, because Coach Golden is a perfect coach for that job. He's
Mm-hmm.
perfect for that job.
Yeah.
Um, he shows a lot of emotion. He connects with the fans. He's a community guy. He's not to himself. He literally he's a great genuine person. He's a great coach. He's gonna do great things. He's gonna do great things, man.
So you only got a year with him though, but what would you say is your favorite memory that you created with Coach Golding?
Man, we created too many memories, man. That's my God. Oh man, we had a lot of good memories. I say when probably when we went on retreat and we was all just kicking it, having a good time with us and him and the team and stuff. We was at the White Sands out here in El Paso. We went to the cabins and stuff, and those are memories we're gonna cherish forever. We was playing games and stuff. Those are good times. We were paintballing. It was a lot of stuff like that. So yeah.
As you went through that year, I know obviously whenever you get to know a person more and more throughout time, you get to know more and more things about them that maybe you didn't know beforehand. Was there anything about
Yeah.
Coach Gordon that maybe you shocked that over the course of that year that you learned more about him, you kind of were shocked about either the way he was as a coach or the way his personality was? Like, did anything about Coach
Yeah.
Gordon ever shock you throughout that year?
Uh, I mean, some stuff is like, man, Coach cool. It's just I was just getting to know him, so I was getting to know how he was. He let us be us. He was a
Mm-hmm.
fun coach. He liked to joke, dance, and he was the coolest coach we had. So I mean, we got a great relationship and everything. He's a great man. He's great.
You guys had a pretty solid year. You guys go 20-14 as a team this year. But for yourself personally, you have an even bigger jump now. You not only do what you did last year, but you build on that. You average nearly 20 a game, 4.5 rebounds, 3 assists per game, almost 2 steals per game. What was your mentality heading into the year? Like, what did you want to accomplish heading into what was most likely obviously be your final year at UTEP then?
I just wanted to come and really win. Like I wanted to win the conference. Like come, that's how hard I was playing. Like even though people didn't think we had a chance, I knew we had a chance. And Coach Golden was fun to play for. I literally wanted to win so bad. Like I was just playing hard, trying to do everything I can, trying to impact the game as much as I can on defense, on offense, whatever. I was just trying to impact the game as much as I can and try to win this game. Man, that's all I was really doing.
When you look back at this season, would you say it was a success? Did you achieve everything you wanted to? I mean, obviously, the ultimate goal would have been like win a national championship or something like that. But when you look at the realistic goal that you set for yourself, was this past year a success?
I mean, yeah, but I felt it was a success for sure. But my goal was really to win the Conference USA. I wanted to go to the tournament. And I really felt like we had a chance. We played Middle Tennessee. We went to overtime with them, and they went to triple overtime with UAB.
Mm-hmm.
We played UAB good at the crib. We was up on them by 7 and by 8. Came back, lost in a close one, nail biter, and it was little stuff that happened like that in those games. But I felt like we was right there, man. I felt like we was right there.
Now, when you look back at your UTEP career and the legacy left behind, which is honestly kind of crazy because you spent 4 years there as on campus, but 3 years playing. You finished top 10, as I mentioned to you in the intro, and in points, the plus minus, and win shares, free throws. So now that you left, your name is a part of the legacy now at UTEP history. What does that mean to you?
It's definitely a blessing. I could have stayed there and try to go chase more accolades and stuff, but I want to do something different. But it feels good, man. It's a blessing. I don't even really think about it that much. Like people say this and that, and I'll be like, okay, all right, but I don't even be thinking. I try not to think about it that much.
So what was your favorite UTEP memory then? All the times, whether it be on practices, games, a game, specific game you won. What's your favorite UTEP memory that you created throughout your career there?
It was definitely probably the last game that we just had. We beat North Texas. We broke their streak. It was the last game. All the fans was there. We was taking pictures. It was my mom and my step pops was there. My friend was there. It was dope. It was lit, man. That was a great time.
So if you look back and you were to go ask them like, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieved throughout your career there, rather it be as the person that you were off the court, on the court, what would you want to be remembered for? Like, what do you hope you're remembered for what you did as a player on and off the court there throughout your UTEP career?
I just want to be remembered as a great person, a person with good character, and a person that just left it all out there on the court, man. Somebody that didn't take plays off, just play hard. That's all I want to be remembered as at UTEP, and I think I did my best um, at making it happen.
Well, let's get to the conclusion of the season then, because obviously we're pretty much up to date now in a sense where it's been the past couple of months, which have been hectic for yourself. But by that point in time, you decide to utilize your extra year of eligibility. Well, first, you obviously decided to declare for the draft. But when you were going through the season, did you kind of always have in the back of your mind the plan of saying, I plan on going back and spending one more year in college and I want to go transfer? Or when did that start becoming something that you wanted to pursue?
Yeah, and during heading into the season, I was heading in thinking that like I want this to be my last year for sure and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And even throughout the year, I was like thinking it's gonna be my last year. But then when the year ended, how it ended and stuff, I started off the year with a broken finger,
Yeah.
broken hand, COVID, and it was a lot of stuff that I was going through in the beginning of this season. Honestly, could have felt I could have had an even better season this year if I started off better. But yeah, so that was my mindset during the time. But as time passed, I felt like it was the best decision to transfer and go to a bigger stage and be on a winning team and get to March Madness and you know be seen by more people.
Now you're in the middle of all this process, and I think you're still in a part of it at least, but decided to declare for the NBA draft, to go through the process a little bit. Take us that decision.
Mhm.
Like, why'd you want to go through that?
Um, I wanted to go through that and see where I was. But I put my name in there and then I I plan on taking that out soon just to go through the process a little bit. But then I also decided I just want to come back, and then I still been doing my pro workouts with one of my trainers out here. We still been getting after it every day and stuff. So I still been getting ready for when that time comes. But ultimately, no, I'm going to be back at Xavier, trying to win and get better over there as well.
And that obviously is something. I mean, just kind of confirm for fans then, because you are a player obviously that's more than talented skill wise, and obviously you'd be able to play pro if it's not in the NBA somewhere. But you do obviously plan to then just kind of go through this process a little longer. Then you do expect 100% then to be back at Xavier then when the season does start.
Yes, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Well, let's go through this process that got you to Xavier then, because that is where you're going to have your home for the final year. So you're into the portal, and you were one of the top players in the country. You probably are debatably, if not the best bucket getter in the entire portal. Walk us through the interest from the time you put your name in that portal to the time you officially announced that you're going to Xavier. How hectic was that? And what was it like going through that process?
It was hectic. It was a lot of schools. It was all a blessing though. It was all good to, get the recognition that you deserve and stuff. And it was a good process. It was long, but it's over now, and I'm glad it's over. Now I feel like I made the right choice.
And we touched up on your process coming out of high school, and we also touched up on the transfer portal process going to UTEP. To now know that you've officially reached that place where it's no longer just yourself believing that you're a top player. You now know that you've always known this, but now the whole world sees it. Now the other teams, the coaches see it. How did that feel? Just going through that process knowing that you've officially reached that point now?
It felt good, man. It felt good. And it was just like I said, it was a blessing to be in that process, and it was good to get recognized, and the coaches that wanted me to come play for them. It was just a testament to the work that I've been putting in, and I feel like it's only gonna keep getting better from here on out.
Who did this come down to then? When you obviously know Xavier's where you're going, but was there a top two, a top three for yourself, or who did this really come down to besides Xavier?
So it really the end of it was crazy because I was getting like different schools each and every day. Like in the beginning, how I was in it, I still had people hitting me up towards the end. But I was hearing from like Texas Tech, TCU, Xavier, Gonzaga a little bit, K State, San Diego State, Cal, Texas. Um, I was hearing from a lot, man. Arizona, I was hearing from a lot. But it really came down to like really came down to Texas State, Kansas State, TCU, Cal, San Diego State, and Xavier. Those are like my top 6 or 7, whatever.
So let's say Xavier never came into the picture for you. What school do you think you'd be going to right now?
And that I do not know. I really don't know. I was gonna have to get back to the drawing board and you know think of some.
So what was it about Xavier then? What was it about this program that all of a sudden you said, this is where I want to go. I know I want to be at Xavier next year.
Um, I wanted to be at Xavier because Sean Miller, the vision that he had for me, the team that's there is some great players that I'm going to go play with next year. The fan base, the opportunity. It was just a great fit for me. I mean, I feel like everything was there, and it was just everything that I went.
When did you realize that Xavier's where you want to play at? Was it obviously not your commitment just a few days ago, whatever, but when was the point that you said, I want to go to Xavier? Was it during like obviously a meeting with him, a visit? Like when did the point come that you said, I want to play here?
Yeah, I felt like throughout the recruitment process, they were one of the leaders in
Mm-hmm.
that process, and they just showed to me that that was the best opportunity for me through everything that they had, the players, Sean Miller, the fan base, the system, and just the opportunity for me to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was the best opportunity for me.
When you told Coach Shamma that he won you over and that you're gonna go play for him next year, how did you tell him? What was the reaction? Like, take us to the whole story and how it all went down.
Well, I had went on my visit there, and then I waited the next day, and then I called him up, and then I told him I was coming and stuff, and then he was just juiced. He was excited. He was like, "Man, he told me that I'm happy, man. This is gonna be this one of the best decisions you made." and you're not gonna regret. You're not gonna regret it. And it was just great.
So you now know that you're the very first commit in Sean Miller's history. And I mean, technically, like Desmond, who obviously decided to recommit and come back to Xavier and stuff like that. But the very first guy that he committed and recruited from the get-go to the time you commit there, what does that mean to you?
I mean, that means a lot to me, man. That's just again a testament to my work that I've been putting in and stuff. And Coach Miller, he just recognized me and he believed me. Um, and that was pretty much it. I mean, yeah.
We got to take us to that visit a little bit. From the time you stepped foot out there and you got on campus to the time you left, what's everything you guys did? And just what was that visit like?
And the visit was great, man. We talked a lot of hoops, and we ate real good. Uh, we worked out like 3-4 times. We got some good work
Mm.
in, actually. I mean, dudes don't do that a lot. I mean, I think they were surprised a little bit at that too. But we got some good work in. I got to work out and stuff, and it was a great visit.
Was any of the players on campus? And if so, like, did you get touch base with some of the guys? I don't know, rather be Colby or Zach Fremantle or Jack or
Yep,
any of those
nah,
guys.
the
Like, did you
whole
touch base
team,
with any
though.
of them?
Yeah, the whole team was there. I was in the gym with a couple of them. I was in the gym with Kobe Fremantle and Jack Nungy and stuff. So I saw those guys up close, and stuff, and it was good. Them dudes was really cool, and I mean, I know they excited to play with me like I'm excited to play with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to go a little bit deeper into Coach Miller because people know his name. Obviously, he's done incredible things in the college basketball world, but no one obviously gets to experience what a coach is like off the court and kind of the personal relationship aspect like you got to do so far. So, what is Coach Miller like when you talk about just being around him, hanging out with him on the visit, now talking to him on the phone or Zoom, whatever it is? What is Coach Miller like off the court?
Coach Miller, a real cool dude. He a chill dude. Um, Man, he's been through a lot. He's experienced a lot of players, a lot of good teams. He coached a lot of great players. We had good stories, good talks when I was on my visit, and he's a really good coach, a really good guy, man. So that's what I can say about Coach Miller.
He's done it before, but why should fans be excited for this next era of Sean Miller basketball at Xavier? Why should we believe that they can get back to being a tournament team every single year? They can be a team that potentially makes a deep run in the tournament. Like, why should fans be bought into this next era of Sean Miller basketball at Xavier?
I mean, because he's done it. I mean, he's done it at the highest level. He's done it before. He's
Mm-hmm.
coming off a year where he was just off. So he's coming back even hungrier. He's refreshed. He's fresher. He might come back with some new habits that might enhance not only him but the team and the community. So I mean, this is great for him. He's just as hungry as me and the other guys are going out there and making a run to the tournament and deep run into the tournament. So I mean, a lot of people are gonna be on notice with it. So that's gonna be real good as well.
So, what's your favorite memory that you've created so far in your short time with Coach Miller?
Man, we was probably joking about some stuff. I can't say one yet because I ain't been around. I was only around for a few days, so
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to ask me that question sometime soon. Yeah.
You mentioned some of these guys on this team though, and I think fans are excited. I think you guys are obviously already a top 25 team. I haven't made 25 yet because everyday guys are constantly changing rosters, but you guys have the talent to be a top 25 team, and from there just to build upon that down when it comes time for the season. How excited are you for you this team though? When you see the guys that are from Colby to Zach to Jack to Adam to the list goes on, how excited are you for this team to be able to get out there and see what you guys can accomplish?
Now I'm real excited. I mean, I'm hungry, and I know those dudes hungry, and Coach Miller hungry to get back at it. So, I mean, it's gonna be really good. I mean, I know those guys are really good players. I've seen it. So, we just all excited. Can't wait to get to work.
The majority of the roster is locked in. I know there's one more spot available technically. You guys have a final scholarship available. Is there something you guys are targeting? Is there something that you're trying to recruit, or like who would be your dream pitch that Coach Miller's maybe told you about? Is it a maybe an incoming freshman, a transfer? Who is someone that you guys would like to add on to this team, if anybody?
That's the man. I don't even know all that. I mean, I know they was talking about it a little bit, but they might use it or they might not. So I mean, whatever they do, I'm sure it'll be a help to the team, a great addition. And it's all depend on what the coaches believe. Regardless, we're gonna be ready. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna play hard, and we're gonna have more than enough pieces to get stuff done. So I mean, we're gonna be ready.
Well, let's say this is a 12-man roster. how special can this team be then? If there's no one else that's added on to this team, let's just say it's U12 right now. How special can this Xavier team be this year?
I mean, this team could be really good. This team could be as good as we want to be. We're gonna get together. We're gonna work hard. We're gonna get together soon in a couple weeks and get after it. And we're gonna go as far as we go.
I know fans are going to be ecstatic to see what you can bring to this team. So give them a little glimpse about that. What can Xavier fans be excited for what you're going to bring to this team when you get out there?
I mean, Xavier fans can expect a great character guy, a dude that's gonna play hard, both on both sides of the ball. A dude that's gonna bring um, passion and electric to the team and to the fan base and to the program. Dude that's gonna score, dude that's gonna get buckets, dude that's gonna get to the free throw line, dude that's gonna make plays, dude that's gonna take pride, getting stops, and just a great teammate, a great person.
When you look at the Big East specifically, obviously you don't know exactly everyone you're going to play next year, but is there one team that you're the most excited to go up against next year in the Big East?
Man, I'm just excited to play in the Big East, man. I'm excited to play every game. So it's not one game that I'm just looking at. I'm gonna be ready for excited for each and every game. I mean, the Big East this year gonna be real tough. I feel like it's gonna be one of the best conferences. How the Big 12 took a step and was the best conference this year. I think the Big East is gonna be right there up there with it. So
Yep.
it's gonna be good. A lot of players transferring to the Big East, so it's gonna be nice.
Now, I know one huge thing about college basketball is the NIL aspect, and you've obviously got kind of just some experience with that, obviously at UTEP, but the obvious factor is that there's a lot more availability at Xavier than there was at UTEP. So was that a role in your recruitment at all? Like, was the NIL aspect, did that have any impact on your recruiting decision?
Um, to me, that wasn't the main thing for me. Some dudes might have different opinions on that, but for me, I feel like that wasn't the major factor. I feel like I mean it was other schools and that probably could have had more NIL and this and that, but I feel like that wasn't the main thing. I mean, I'm trying to get that big bag, man. I ain't really too caught up in the 1 year plan. I'm just trying to really find the best fit and all this. I was really just trying to find the best situation for me and to get what I want to get done on the court. So I feel like that was the major factor, major thing.
Now, as you mentioned, your main goal of the season is to not just obviously have a great year, win, be successful, but the ultimate goal, I can imagine, is obviously to propel yourself to be in the NBA in a little over a year, be ready for that 2023 NBA draft class then. So what do you want to improve on? Like, what do you think that when you evaluate your game, maybe what you've heard from people that you need to get better at, that you want to kind of get out of this year in terms of development as a person, as a player, to get ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna continue to grow in all aspects of my game and my shooting, my ball handling, my finishing. I feel like that's just gonna continue to just get better each and every time I get out there, each and every year. But I definitely want to take time on my body and definitely work, get my body weight up and show that I can contain contact and stuff, even though I can. But I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to get that more. I want to get that more weight on me and stuff. And yeah.
I'm sure you guys haven't had an in-depth conversation on this aspect, but from what maybe Coach Miller's talked to you about so far, maybe just evaluating yourself, we know you as a guy that's been getting basically 20 points a game for about 2 years now. Is 20 points per game something that you think you're going to carry over to the Big East? Do you plan on becoming someone that maybe gets 14 to 18 points a game or something like that and become someone that gets maybe 5 or 6 assists per game? Or what's kind of the blueprint for you next year?
Yeah, nah. I know I'm gonna be playing on a better stage and with better players. I'm not saying I'm gonna come in there, I'm gonna average 20. But I'm saying I'm gonna come in there, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play my game. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna get buckets. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make plays. It's not like I'm just out there trying to shoot every shot, but I'm gonna definitely go out there, play my game, do what I do. Coach Miller didn't recruit me there to not do what I've been doing. So that'll be a failure on my part and his and of me a failure in the team, not going in there and deferring or not playing my game. So I'm gonna go in there and play the same way I've been playing, and try to just be better. You know what I'm saying? So that's my stand on that.
Well, something I was like touching up on with each guy is that I know they want to build a legacy for themselves, and you only get a year to do that now out there at Xavier. But when you do end up leaving this program in 1 year, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court at Xavier?
I want to be remembered as a great person, a leader, somebody that was good in the community, someone that was uplifting people, great player, just someone that made put on the show for the fans, and that was just put on the show for them and be like, man, Souley was fun to watch. He was a great person. He was a great player, man. So that's all. That's the imprint I want to leave on Xavier, and I'm sure I'm gonna leave that.
Well, before we wrap up this, I got to ask about two different things. They're both about something that's a part of social media. One aspect of that is you have Wetlife and on Instagram. What exactly does that mean? Take a meaning behind that.
That's just man. That's just like threes, man. Because that jumper is wet, man. So I shoot a lot of threes. So that's how I got wet life stuff, and yeah.
And the other one is your Twitter name. Obviously, it's kind of self-explanatory to a certain extent, but you got to take us behind the meaning of it. Like, where did that come from, and how did you get the idea to put that as your Twitter name?
Man, I made that in like middle school. To be honest, I had my Twitter since middle school. BucketsForSale. I don't know how I thought of it. That's just been my name since that. Like that it's funny people be talking about it now. Like I'm in college, like BucketsForSale and all this and stuff. But like I was a youngin when I made that. Like I didn't even think of it going that far. And so yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, my final question I've got for you: give Xavier fans your three biggest goals that you have set for the next year.
Win the Big East for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Make a deep run to the tournament and just play hard as hell for the Xavier program and people in Cincinnati. That's our main goals. That's my main goal. I want to bring to the team and to the program, and that's the three main goals I want to put out there.
Absolutely, man. Souley, congratulations on the commitment. I'm excited to see what God got next for you, man, out there at Xavier. Enjoy the rest of the offseason, man. I appreciate you taking time to come on today.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having me, man. It was good.
Absolutely, man. You're always welcome on, man. God bless.
All right. God bless you too, bro.